Hey there, it's me. I know, depending on how I edit all of this together, this might be connected to a video that looks entirely not like this. Or this might be something entirely separate. I'm kind of messing around with video editing right now because I feel that my videos need edited. I don't know how to say this. So I'm going to take my time with it because I don't know how to say it. I love myself. I look in the mirror and I finally see myself. I hear my voice and I hear me. Granted, I wish I was a little deeper than I am, but whatever. I'm trying really hard not to tear up at this, but my body is trying to do that and has been trying to do that for a couple hours now, so I'm just gonna let it if it happens. I'm not sure that I like being a man. But I am one. I feel, and I guess here it goes, I feel the most like me, and when I look at myself, I see me, I feel the most like me that I've ever felt in my entire life besides the first time I tried to transition. But I feel so bad for all women, people who are transgender women and people who are cisgender women, because the world isn't the same as a man versus as a woman. It just isn't. Again, I love myself, and honestly, to a certain degree, I think that transgender men are kind of inherently more educated and more possibly more self-aware than cisgender men, because we have to be. I'm sorry. It's just rather difficult because seeing the culture firsthand is not, it's not okay. It really isn't. Yeah, I got a haircut because I got scared. I'm gonna be really fucking vulnerable. Okay? I'm trying to be okay with alcohol and being around it because it's been a really tough subject for me for a few years. And I don't think it's healthy for me to be completely against it. Personally, to each their own. But for myself, I don't think it's the healthiest mentality for me to be entirely against alcohol and entirely against bars. But I was for the longest time, and fuck it. Sorry, there's just so much wetness on my face. I was so against them for a while. I was against alcohol for the longest time. The thing is So a few months ago, I told myself, honestly, it's more than a few months ago, several months ago, I told myself I refused to be around people who drink, and I refuse to go to family get-togethers with alcohol. I can't refuse that right now unless I give up my entire fucking family. And I know that. I can't refuse to be around drinking unless I want to give up the family who actually knows me best. So, I'm trying to be okay with being around it. I'm trying to be okay with, filling it out and seeing where I'm at, seeing my limits, seeing the. Anyway, long story short, I went to the bar last night and I went to the bar tonight. And yeah, to some people that may be creating a habit or whatever. It's the holidays. I'm trying to feel shit out. I'm sorry, but cut me some slack, please. I don't want to be mean or too blunt, but I'm not trying to make a habit out of going to the bar every night or every week or every this or every that. I really don't care. I'm literally trying to feel the environment out because I want to be social. That's the thing, is I want to be social, and I don't have a lot of friends. And I don't have really many, I don't have like hardly any friends, honestly. It's me and my sister, and and my family. That's it. I don't have friends, like friends, right? Sorry for the cats in the background. So for me, going to the bar is honestly kind of a nice outlet. Sure, I sip a beer for like 1 or 2 hours. um, you know, but whatever. I'm not trying to go there to get tipsy or drunk or intoxicated in any way. That's not the goal. The goal for me is to be around people who feel like myself, honestly. And unfortunately, going to a bar is the only place I feel like I'm going to get that right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I've noticed, so today I got a haircut, in part, not in totality, but in part because last night I went to a bar that's like 1-2 blocks away from where I live. Very, very local. That's good, right? In my opinion, especially if you're gonna like drink. I don't want to say drink and drive because that implies that you're getting drunk and then driving, in which I am not. I am pacing myself, but nonetheless, I don't want to go there and like run errands or go there and like do other things. Like I want to go there as the last thing I do in the day or in the night. If I'm going to go there, just because I do not wish to be dangerous with it. And I do pace myself. Anyway, so last night I went there and I had my long hair that I have in every other video on here, right? Including possibly this one, depending on how I edit it. And there was an older couple who was across the bar from me. Mind you, I don't know if my hearing's not great or what, but this is the type of place where if you are really having a conversation with someone, you either have to lean in really far or just move your seat. So there's this couple, and initially the lady misgenders me, and in my long hair, I'm thinking, oh, fuck. But the second I open my mouth and the second I start talking, thank God, she corrects herself, I think, automatically. I get into a very long conversation, probably about an hour's worth, honestly, about guns of all things with her husband. Mind you, my ex is very much into guns, but very safe about it. And I do like, I mean, I like guns, but I don't like I don't know how to put it. It's nice to go to a firing range with someone who's educated on the subject and knows what they're doing, and it is a nice kind of like endorphin release or whatever. So is going to the gym. Let me put it that way. So is going to the gym. So somehow I fucking pass, quote, with this dude who knows his shit, mind you. He also somehow, or not somehow, but like he also told me he was a Democrat, and I don't know why. But I'm just sitting there listening to him rant while his, I think, wife is on the other side kind of annoyed, honestly, and I felt really bad for her. Anyway, so I got misgendered because of my hair, and I know that. And today, today and lately I've been thinking a lot about it. How important is my hair? What does it mean to me? And why do I need it? I wanted my hair as an art canvas. I wanted to bleach it blonde like I did when I was a freshman or sophomore in high school and color it, right? I do not have enough facial hair to do that safely. My voice is barely in the spot that I need for that to happen safely. So I'm not going to do it out of safety. So today I downloaded the app Sport Clips, I believe it is, or Sports Clips or whatever. Got my hair cut. I was pretty particular about it, to be honest, and I felt really, really bad for the hair stylist or whatever. She was very empathetic. I did not tell her my situation. I did not give her any details at all. For all she knew, I was just a long-haired man that wanted short hair. Because that's what I told her. I chose a style that fit me, and I did tell her, like, you know better than I do. Whatever fits my face, just do that. But I gave her some pictures that I found on the internet that I felt were the best like me. What you're seeing right now is none of those photos. And I do kind of want to do this. Yeah. What you're seeing right now is me and her trying to figure out where to have it be. I wanted it shorter on the sides, longer on the top, slightly. I can still, if I wanted to use hair gel at one point, I can still do that. She did say that because I had a part for such a long time, and I can kind of see it honestly, that part might just be there for a while. So I might want to get some hair gel at some point and style it myself. But at the end of the day, at a glance, I know factually, based on tonight, that that's not needed. It's just not. I cannot tell you how many times I looked in the mirror tonight when I was using the restroom, the correct restroom, that I was scared shitless to use. And I looked at myself and I tried so hard for the time I was washing my hands, which isn't a lot of time, mind you, because men... Not gonna lie, some people just piss and leave without washing their hands. And I know I'm shocked by that again, but it's disgusting. Anyway, so I used the stall because, for one, I'm on medication in which I have to, excuse my language, shit all the time anyway. So, whatever, fuck it. Two, I don't have a penis, so, and I don't have a packer. For those of you who don't know what a packer is, basically you buy a dick online and you put it in your pants. You put it in your underwear, whatever. And in my mind, I don't know, I just don't feel that self-conscious or that whatever about my crotch, at the end of the day, men are not staring at each other's dicks or each other's crotches. So I don't see a point to having one of these, to be honest, yet. Maybe I will. I hope not. And maybe I'll just, on my own, come to the conclusion that I want to get one. Maybe I won't. Whatever. Anyway, so I'm in the bathroom at this bar tonight, trying to see a woman in the mirror for the amount of time that I'm washing my hands, which feels like forever. And I can't. And I use that restroom like 4 times-ish. Granted, I am at the bar for literally hours. So it is what, I mean, I'm there from the time that they had a huge rush and I was a part of that, and they kind of died down, and I'm there to socialize. I'm not there to really drink a whole lot. So I drink in order to feel okay with being there, in order to support the establishment and whatnot, but I'm not drinking in order to get drunk or get intoxicated. I'm drinking to be social, to be honest. Anyway, so I look at the mirror, especially at the end of everything, and I take a real good hard look. I can't see a woman in the mirror at all. And I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned her by name thus far, and I hope I haven't. Either way, I'm not going to in this video. But my aunt, who has a daughter I'm relatively close to, in my opinion, I'm pretty close to her. Anyway, sorry. My uncle has a book that he wanted to gift my sister, so I'm trying to keep that safe. By the way, to the cousin I'm referring to, because I know you're probably going to watch this. If you want this book, let me know, because I can get it to you. Okay? More than likely, you know who. Well, I mean, his name is on here. But, because if you want this, if you haven't read it, or if you don't own a copy, let me know, because I'm close to the author, close-ish, and I can get it to you, more than likely. So, in all seriousness, text me if you want this, to my cousin. Everyone else, if you want this book, you might have to buy it. Because I am not really willing to ask my uncle for 50 copies of something, or 10 copies or whatever, because that's not right. But anyway, so I looked at the mirror and I look at myself now. I fail to see a woman in this, right? But I recognize myself for the first time in a decade. And I sent my aunt some pictures tonight because I really wanted to go into Christmas Day. Just bam, there's me. But I didn't feel that was the most ethical decision on the planet. So I texted her. I was like, hey, just so that you're not in complete shock, do you want me to send you some pictures? Because I did cut my hair and it's rather short. And she was like, I don't really care either way, but sure. So I sent her some pictures because I was like, hey, you might not even recognize me. And she said, I recognize you. You're not, it is rather short, but it looks like you. take a minute. It looks like you. I recognize you. I told her through text, and I can't go on my phone because that's where I'm recording this, but something along the lines of, hey, Aunt blah, 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 you recognize me because this is me. And I'm committed to being myself at this point. I know my cousin knows this and my sister knows this, and that's about it. But I am committed to being myself no matter how hard mentally or physically this is. I feel both relieved and awful at the same time. I feel relieved that I look like myself and that I feel like myself and that I get recognized as of today, basically. I mean, I've passed to a degree thus far since hormones, but the long hair has thrown people off. That's just reality with my voice and everything, right? But with the haircut that I have now, it's not throwing people off. And honestly, again, I don't think I can. But I feel so sad to a degree because when I was at the bar tonight, it wasn't, hey, ma'am, what would you like? It was very much, brother, what do you want? Hey, sir, what do you need right now? And it was very much like full on respect, calling me brother, sir, or man all the time without hesitation, getting exactly what I wanted. Hell, the last drink I had, they didn't even ask what I wanted. I mean, that might be normal on both genders, but they didn't ask. I was just drinking Bud Light the whole time. No offense, but I didn't want to spend money. Like, I can go get a 6-pack at the grocery store if I really wanted to. And I don't care. So I just chose one of the cheapest options that they had, right? But, like, the amount of respect and the amount of... I don't want to say, like, I guess respect. The amount of respect... I want to say instantaneous response, but honestly, it just comes down to respect. The amount of respect that I have felt today after my haircut. And mind you, I do think that this physically took me back a few years. I'm 31. I don't think I look 31. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I do. But I don't think so. Last night, I didn't get carded. They didn't care. Tonight, I got carded, even though I was like, here's my ID. I don't care. They did card me, and I knew they were going to because I have a baby face as a man. But I feel really, really bad for women all over, honestly, because as a woman, that's not how people get treated. And it's so stupid. It is so stupid. I love myself for who I am. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I am a man. And tonight, I didn't really like it as much as one would think. My point being is that being transgender, it isn't sometimes like, oh, I really want to be a woman or I really want to be a man. It isn't really that way. It's either, not all the time anyway. Everyone's different, but sometimes you just are who you are, whether you like it or not. And I don't really, I understand male culture. I empathize with male culture. I fit in with male culture. The question is should we? You know? I do understand. Sorry, I have a cat who wants my attention. I do, I feel more like me than I've ever felt, really, as an adult. An adult. Tonight, I feel more like me than I've ever felt probably in my entire life. But at the same time, how fucking toxic is humanity? Because I should not have to feel bad about being myself. And neither should you. And when I say about being myself, like, I don't mean like I'm toxic. I mean, everyone has their traits, but I don't mean that. I just mean the fact that I felt so normal by fitting into what I would consider to be borderline, some toxic masculinity. And I don't think that's really a good thing. But, I mean, on the other end of things, I have seen a lot of women get into random BS fights that they didn't need to start or get into. So I guess that's kind of on both sides. Gender doesn't really equate respect to a degree or agreement or disagreement to a degree. It doesn't equate who someone is as a person, really. Gender's such a stupid construct, yet so important. Riddle me that. Why is gender so fucking important in our lives? Saying as a person who is transgender, who is a man born in the wrong hormones and body, I find it rather important to transition, but I still don't think that gender should be that big of a deal. Just some introspective thoughts that I've had today, the last few hours. Something I needed to think on. I don't like the fact that women get treated so poorly. I do like the fact that I get some fucking respect now. I don't like the fact that I have to be a man and look like a man and present as male in order to get that. I don't like that. I do feel it. Like, I do feel right with it. Like, it's weird because it feels normal to me. It feels like, where has this been my entire life? But at the same time, I know where it's been, and it's been with men who look like men, who present as men, right? That's where it's been. So it feels normal to me, which is not the most comfortable feeling, to be honest. I don't like that, to a degree, some of this toxic masculinity does feel normal. But I'm not going to give in to the toxic parts of it. I mean, shit, I got into a conversation with someone who was politically very different from me. And we had a very down-to-earth conversation. And I respected her, beliefs and stuff. And she respected mine. Anywho, I love myself. I love being a man. But as a society, do we love men? In the way that we're supposed to, rather than in the hyper, respectable, whatever you want to call it kind of way. I think that's all. But yeah, long story short, not really long story short, I made that as short as I can, I think. I cut my hair because I was misgendered, and then she corrected herself, and that's happened a couple of times. And I, at the end of the day, felt that my safety was more of a concern than art. When it comes to my hair, I can do art in other ways. My hair will grow back, right? If I ever wanted it to, it'll grow back. One, I see me nowadays. I see myself. And two, I don't think I need my hair to be the canvas that I wanted it to be. And even if I did, I still have hair that I could color one day. Just because it isn't long doesn't mean I can't color it, right? I do look more like the person I imagined, and that was my ultimate decision-making thing was, am I going to look more like myself doing this, or am I just doing it for safety? Both of which are totally valid. And it was a mixture of safety, as in I need to, quote, pass. I need this for myself. Because when you're at a bar, mind you, drinking a few beers, at a certain point, your bladder gives. You gotta use a restroom. Whether it be the men's, women's, whatever, you gotta pick and choose. And luckily at this bar, most bars, it was a pretty small bathroom. And tonight I went like 4 or 5 times because my bladder has no hold to it. Most of the time I was in there by myself in the stall. I think at least twice there was another guy in there using the urinal. And if I didn't look like this, I would not have felt safe going into the bathroom tonight at all. And I probably would have left a little earlier, honestly, and not socialized as much. Not nearly as much. And I really loved the socialization that I had tonight. I feel that giving myself a haircut was both necessary for my actual physical safety in society and to finally see myself as me, for God's sakes. Anyway, just some food for thought, but no, a friend gave me this zip-up hoodie, which I think is perfect. Now it doesn't look, I don't know. When I'm sitting, it looks fine. When I was standing in the mirror earlier, it looked fine. I think it helps. Honestly, I think this sweatshirt or hoodie or whatever you want to call it, because of how it sits on me, it's kind of like a binder, except extraordinarily loose to a degree. Ironically, you can't see my chest in this. You just can't. There's no way. I would have to try try to, sorry, that's a bit dramatic, but like, I'd have to try really, really hard to point out my chest, which is why I wore this today. So thank you to the friend who gave this to me, along with some other clothes. But I wore this today, and then, so that helped out, like, flatten, things. And then I have a polo under this. I usually wear button-ups lately, but I felt like a polo was fine. And I have seen from other men who are cisgender. So, anyway, don't want to correct myself there. But a lot of men do tend to layer anyway. So, a polo with this, with a coat that I eventually took off, was just fine. Food for thought. I am a man, but do I like that? Do I like the fact that, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, do I like male culture? Yes and no, I guess. All right, so now for some shots. So, for one, you are not going to see this, but when I've looked in the bathroom mirror, right around here, I don't know if I can get you to see this at all, but right in here, there is some mustache growing. I have a shit ton of peach fuzz all over that. So, anytime I drink anything, right now, yeah, like, the hair, I kid you not, like, it's right at my lip. So, I have to kind of lick my lip when I drink anything to make sure that my peach fuzz mustache doesn't carry it with. That's a pretty good shot. So, that's the side of my haircut, and then this is my, I forget what you call that, but that, and then I do have a beard, and then this, which is part of my beard, so I don't know why I'm calling it this, and then this side. So, in my opinion, I look like me. And eventually, they did say that the part up here will go away with time, which is good. I might have to put some hair gel in and style it, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal, though, considering that no one said shit tonight. But that's an update.